Sunshine has returned to Target Field, where another sizable crowd plans to spend this Sunday afternoon watching the Twins try to sweep the Royals out of town. It's a series finale, a collision with Kansas City on Fox Sports North. Danny Duffy has tormented the Twins through the years. Today's starter for the Royals in his last 6 road starts, a minuscule ERA .24. Irvin Santana returns for his 3rd start of 2018. Twins 5-1 in his last 6 starts at Target Field. Irv hopes to take another step forward in his progress today. With Roy Smalley, I'm Tom Hanneman. Welcome to Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North. Twins entered this series in the midst of a 7-game power outage in which they had the lowest run production in all of Major League Baseball. But since Kansas City has come to town, all of that has changed, Roy.
And what's changed the most is that the big 4, in this case, Rosario, Polanco, Sano, and Kepler, the guys that are going to lead this Twins offense for hopefully years to come, have really caught fire. All 4 of those guys having good at-bats. Then you throw in good at-bats from Joe Mauer, as per usual, and some of the rest of the supporting cast that the Twins have in the lineup. And the result is much, much better offensive production. But let's remember, those 4 young kids are going to be the ones today and for days to come that the Twins are going to need to be the offensive players they're showing in this streak.
Kevin Gorg, the Twins have taken full advantage of a Kansas City club with the highest earned run average in all of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, a little payback for that sweep a couple weeks ago at Kauffman Stadium. And the Twins went through some tough changes in the clubhouse. And no doubt, Eduardo Escobar and Brian Dozier at the top of that list. Heart and soul guys in the dugout and in behind the scenes in the clubhouse. But let's not forget, really important fixtures in that lineup, especially the season Eduardo Escobar had put together. So we went to Paul Molitor and asked him about those adjustments and maybe now settling into the new look of the Minnesota Twins and building what they've got.
I think sometimes that when you get into a little bit of a role offensively, in this case, that it just frees guys up to go out there and not feel too much pressure about, being one guy who's got to do something special. Yeah, we all know that when the lineup's going a little bit more contributions from top to bottom, you get a lot better offensive production as well as the flow. So hopefully we can keep that part of it going.
Hitters on both sides might have some problems today. A great pitching matchup. Danny Duffy and Irvin Santana. When we come back, Dick Bramer and Burt Blyleman with who has the edge and how can the Twins finally solve Danny Duffy here at Target Field.
you to the power of the digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today.
We're in Minneapolis. It's the last game of the series with the Kansas City Royals and the last game of what the Twins hope will be a winning homestand. They've got a chance to finish the homestand with a 4-2 mark, and it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. And again, we welcome you to Target Field. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven. And it was 2.5 weeks ago, Kansas City Royals swept the Minnesota Twins right out of the All-Star break. Twins have a chance for payback here today, but they've got to find a way to score some runs against a guy who's been really tough against them.
Well, you know what, Danny Duffy has been definitely the ace for the Kansas City Royals this year, and he has been a super ace against the Minnesota Twins in his career. 6-1, a great earned run average, and the Twins have not beat him yet here at Target Field in 6 starts. So they got their work cut out for him. A couple lefties like Mauer and Morrison not in the lineup because he does such a great job against left-handed hitters.
Twins are hoping to put together a winning August like they did last year, and the guy who led the way in the pitching staff will make them start for the Twins here this afternoon, and that is Irvin Santana.
Yeah, Irvin making just his 3rd start of the year. It's still kind of baby steps for him. You know, he had that surgery on his middle finger back in spring training, and it's taken him a while to get going, but last August he had a very good month of August, and this guy last year was the ace of the ball club. Well, he's got a couple little competition this year, but it's important for Santana to finish the season strong, show for next year that that finger is healthy.
Twins will have a chance for that payback sweep in Game 3 with the Kansas City Royals, hoping to start a week-long road trip on a high note, closing out the homestand with a win. Well, we've had a little bit of bad weather, but not today. And on this homestand, the Twins have been able to get all the games in. And gorgeous summer afternoon here at Target Field. Max Kepler swinging the bat a little bit better, and the Twins are hoping to finish off
a 4-2 homestand and tag another loss onto the Kansas City ledger. And the Royals have already lost 76 ball games.
See the record for Ned Yost against the Twins, of course, in his 9th season with the as manager of the Royals. Also managed the Brewers for 6 seasons.
And the Menards batting order for the Royals. They've got Whit Merrifield, one of their better players, in the leadoff spot. Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez, Lucas Duda, Rosel Herrera, Brett Phillips, Jorge Bonifacio, Ryan O'Hearn, and Alcides Escobar.
And today's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture, and that'll be Irvin Santana, not Johan Santana. We celebrated his induction into the Twins Hall of Fame yesterday. For Irvin Santana, making just his 3rd start. He hasn't really pitched that deep into the ball game. Last start he got into the 6th inning, but most importantly, his first 2 starts, Twins won both of those starts.
Twins out in the field with some of the regular left-handed batters out of the lineup today. Eddie Rosario's in there in left. Jake Cave's in there in center. Robbie Grossman getting right field. In the infield, it's Ray Adrianza at third base. Polanco, Forsythe up the middle. Sano switching over to first base, and Mitch Garver behind the plate.
We Sano over first base. We've seen him over there.
Does all right over there. Made a great play at third base last night on a bunt. And he too swinging the bat a little bit better than what we saw earlier this year.
I think Roy brought it up in the pregame. You know, I mean, you looked at who the Twins had to face over before the Royals came in. Cleveland staff very good, Boston staff very good, but Kansas City Royals staff not as good.
And Irvin Santana in his last start had to pitch to the Cleveland lineup, and the results weren't very good. He gave up 3 solo home runs, 2 of them to Jose Ramirez. And the Indians, the 3rd most prolific run scoring team in the league, and the Kansas City Royals are dead last. So we would suspect that that might lead to better numbers for Irvin here today. Strike 1, and very quickly a pitch up and in, 1-1.
Santana making his 26th career start against the Royals. 7 wins, 10 losses in his career against Kansas City, a team he once pitched for.
Breaking ball on a fly lifted to right field. Grossman's under it. He's got it, 1 away.
Let's take a look at a scouting report on Irvin Santana. Still building up that arm strength. You know, yeah, this is not throwing 93 to 95, but this guy knows how to pitch. A lot of major league starts, so that arm is still building it up. It's not a lost season for him. You know, he's got 2 months to really show that you know, his arm, his finger is healthy, and he once was a Royal back in 2013 when he pitched 211 innings for him.
1 strike on a check swing by Alex Gordon.
When he's healthy, he's always been an innings eater in today's game. He's pitched over 200 innings about 4 or 5 times in his career.
And that drifts outside, 1-1.
Yeah, you're not going to see, you know, Irvin's always had good control, even though he's not throwing at the velocity I think everybody would want him to be. He can mix up his pitches. That one right there, he just left up a little bit, and Gordon slapped it into center field.
And that'll bring up Salvador Perez, who was held off the bases last night for one of the few times ever at Target Field.
Hey, popped it up 3 times in his 4 at-bats. So, yeah, Perez had great numbers here at Target Field. 16 home runs, the most of any opposing player against the Minnesota Twins since 2010 here at Target Field.
Dug out by Garver. Pitch in the dirt, 1-0.
And Perez only 4 hits and 20 at-bats against Santana. One of them a home run. 6-time All-Star Salvador Perez. 4-time Gold Glover winner behind the plate.
On the outside corner, 1-1. Now it might be different with someone on base, but one thing I noticed in the first 2 at bats, a noticeably quicker tempo by Santana. Now he was never a malingerer, but I mean, he was in the first 2 at bats pitching at a Mark Burley pace. Like maybe they're trying to figure out a change in tempo out there might help his effectiveness. And again, it might change with someone on base, but next time he pitches from the windup, I think it's pretty noticeable. At least it was in the first 2 at bats. Bounced foul, and it's 1-2.
Well, when you work quick, your defense is going to be on their toes more than their heels. We talk about that sometimes when Jake Odorizzi's on the mound. That takes a lot of time between pitches, and your defense starts looking around that maybe somebody in the stands. They don't concentrate on, hey, that ball's going to be over the plate and he's going to throw a strike. Good chance that hitter's going to put it in play.
And fouled away.
Yeah, I grew up watching Bob Gibson pitch. You know, Gibson was, hey, get the ball, throw it. Get the ball, throw it.
Now you need to clarify for the millennials out there, when you say you grew up watching Bob Gibson pitch, you did so
on
like
TV.
maybe once a week,
right,
or whatever, right? I mean,
yeah. Well,
all the Cardinal games weren't on TV.
No,
back then.
Koufax and Drysdale, but Cardinals, you know, he was on most of the time.
Breaking ball over the inside corner, and Perez takes exception.
Oh, Bill Miller, the crew chief, behind home plate here this afternoon. Santana picking up a strikeout as Perez walks away shaking his head. Take a look. Breaking ball.
That wasn't in the box at all.
Good job right there by Garver, kind of bringing that ball back a little bit.
The crew chief behind the plate. Here's Lucas Duda.
Nothing wrong with a big strike zone early in the ball game. Tells the offense, we're both teams, hey, swing the bat, let's go.
That was not a strike. That was
not. You know what? It was a strike because Bill Miller is the crew chief and he's a home plate umpire, so it's a strike.
In a long way to center field. And a home run into the bullpen by Lucas Duda, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, ball left up right there. Fourth home run that Santana has allowed. You mentioned his last 3 starts, 3 home runs that he allowed. So Duda hitting his 10th home run, taking it into the deepest part here at Target Field, into that bullpen area. Makes it a 2-0 Royals early lead.
Change up out over the plate, or in fact off the plate. So 2-0 Kansas City, and Rosell Herrera with that. Missing inside. Santana got the ball from Garver, back on the rubber, looking in for the sign. This is a noticeable difference to me. Yeah, he wasn't one to take too much time out there, but there is the third out, but it comes after a 2-run home run by Lucas Duda, and it's 2-0 Kansas City. Field shift. Paul Molitor hoping that the Twins can find a way to solve Danny Duffy here this afternoon. Twins won the first game of the homestand against Cleveland, lost the next 2, but now have won a couple in a row. The Menards batting order for the Twins. Robbie Grossman leading off. Then Eddie Rosario, Jorge Polanco, Miguel Sano, Logan Forsythe,
Max Kepler, Mitch Garver, A-Ray Adrianza, and Jake Cage.
And today's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture, and that is Danny Duffy making his 24th start and his 4th against the Twins. Twins have not figured him out yet this year. 3 starts, 1-0 and 19 innings pitched, only 2 earned runs allowed against the Twins, an ERA of .95.
And yet you look at his overall numbers, somebody's figured him out. He's had some rough starts along the way. Wasn't particularly good 2 starts ago against the Tigers. 5 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs. 2-0 to Grossman. That's a long way down the line, but foul.
Now, opponents coming into the ball game unusual. Left-handers are hitting .261 off of Duffy this year, but over his career, left-handers have hit only .209 against him. That's why Mauer, Morrison not in the lineup against Danny Duffy. Good fastball, hard curveball, and changeup.
Foul back 2-2.
He'll come right at you. Walks are high, 62 walks in 132 innings pitched, averaging about 4.2 walks per 9, but about 8 strikeouts per 9. So no complete games because he does throw a lot of pitches in a short amount of time.
Kind of liking what Duffy is to the Royals now, what Brad Radke was for the Twins 15 years ago or so. You know, the Royals are trying to rebuild the rotation, but they've got this guy that they can kind of build around, if that makes any sense. Swung on and missed. Grossman strikes out. And when you have the Birch Smiths of the world that are run out there and you don't really know what you're going to get on a game-to-game basis, the Royals are kind of counting on Duffy to be that guy.
Well, they gave him a lot of money too until 2021 to be that #1 guy.
Royals defense brought to you by Northland Ford. Brett Phillips anchoring the outfield. Bonifacio in right, Gordon in left. Herrera, Escobar, Merrifield, O'Hearn the infielders, and Sal Perez behind the plate. Rosario fouls it back, 1 strike. And Rosario had his batting average up to 300, but then went hitless his last 2 at bats last night. Just outside, 1-1. The Royals are the only team the Twins do not have at least a .500 record against in the American League Central. They're 7-5 with the Indians and the White Sox, have split 6 games with the Tigers, and now are 5-6 against Kansas City. Fouled back 1-2.
Now, Rosario's got some good numbers against Duffy. 5 hits and 16 at bats, a .313 batting average.
Up and away, 2-2.
We showed you the numbers earlier on Duffy here at Target Field in 7 starts. 9. This is his 9th appearance. 4-0, 1.93 ERA. That's the best of any pitcher in those amount of innings and starts.
Hot ground ball rolled to Merrifield, 2 down.
Take a look at the Pizza Ranch for today's win. Need to turn Duffy's luck around, especially here at Target Field with that 4-0 record and a 1.93 ERA. Let's hope the Twins offense can pick up the mistake that Santana made to Duda in the 1st inning.
2 down, and now Jorge Polanco. See the number 30 scratched on the back slope of the mound. And of course, for Yordano Ventura, who was supposed to be another anchor in this Kansas City rotation, tragically taken from the Royals and from baseball due to a car accident a couple of winters ago. 1 strike to Polanco. One and 1. Twins are 4-1 against the Royals here, which is 1-5 in Kansas City. It's down the right field line. It's a foul ball chased by O'Hearn, and no play.
Polanco's had an encouraging homestand in that he's hit better right-handed during the homestand than left-handed. Got a ringing double into the left field corner a couple nights ago. One and two. And now 2-2. Always thought that was one of the hidden values of Eduardo Escobar when he was with the Twins. He did a nice job splitting his effectiveness right-handed and left-handed.
Yep. And Polanco over the last 11 ball games hitting .333.
There's a deep drive, but it's going to be foul. He really cranked that one. Wow.
Up in Goose Island Pub, it was in and out of the hands of the young man. We'll be talking about that for 8 or 9 more innings. I had it.
2-2 to Polanco. And now 3-2. I mean, think about it. If you're a switch hitter and you're hitting 400 from one side and 100 the other side, you're really not much of a switch hitter because you could be pitched to and maneuvered with the bullpen in the late innings.
Oh, was that Aaron Hicks that got so frustrated
Yeah.
that he didn't want to hit? I think it was left-handed anymore.
3-2. Fouled back. Remember talking to Chili Davis a couple years ago, one of the best switch hitters of his era, and he said, yeah, one year he was ready to give up hitting left-handed, and then Eddie Murray counseled him and said, no, you got to keep at it. It's just life as a switch hitter.
Yeah, Eddie Murray was one of the best switch hitters all time.
Full count to Polanco, trying to keep this first inning alive for the Twins. Hard ground ball and a couple of hops to Herrera. Duffy has a 1-2-3 first and a 2-0 lead.
Clubhouse scoop. We'll start with the pitcher today, Irvin Santana. Caught him on the way into the clubhouse today. Asked him about last night. He said you could feel the passion that Johan Santana had for pitching. He goes, I like to think that I have some of that passion too. You think back to that old smell of the baseball thing. He loves to be out on the mound where he is right now. Oliver Drake got in the game last night. 5 teams, 5 cities. This isn't just the story. This guy was at the Naval Academy. He had to make a tough decision on whether to go play and chase his dreams for Major League Baseball or stay with the Naval Academy. And he said, when you're in the military, you go where they tell you. When it's time to go, no different with 5 teams just this year in 2018, guys.
Well, thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, congratulations to Oliver Drake, too, what he was able to accomplish and not say give up. And I think probably the Navy experience created some of that.
Polanco makes the catch in short center field. One away. Watch Irvin Santana now. See if I don't think I'm making this up. He's just really working quickly.
He's always been a fast worker. Sometimes you find yourself maybe, rushing a little bit as far as, hey, get on that mound, let that ball go.
But it seems like it's a conscious effort to not eliminate, but minimize the time between pitches from the windup.
Well, maybe he talked to Jim Cott yesterday.
Yeah, that could be. Off the end of the bat. And Adrianza in foul ground. A couple of quick outs here in the second. And we'll bring up O'Hearn.
Yeah, Jim Cott had those couple years in Chicago where he won 20 games a couple years in a row by getting on that mound. And as soon as that batter put his, like right now, the ball, okay, once O'Hearn steps in, right.
Well, he's taking his time because
Here, the ball, Jim would throw the ball before the hitter's even ready to set up.
first pitch strike. Catching it from Garver on the rubber, looking in. Let's go.
Well, I tell you what, your defense players appreciate that.
Hooked down the line, but foul. Great catch.
Gotta bring that glove up to the guy up at the Goose Island pub that dropped it.
But see, even the fans respond to a quick tempo, right? The fans are on their toes, ready to catch the foul balls. 2 strikes to O'Hearn. Pulled foul. And another ball put in play. Jim told the story that when he was in his rapid fire delivery phase, that when the catcher would return behind home plate from backing up first base, the catcher would put his fingers down along his thigh to call the next pitch before he even got back to the catcher's box.
Right.
1-2. In the dirt again, 2-2.
Yeah, even though Santana doesn't have that, velocity on that fastball, don't forget about it. A lot of changeups so far, off-speed pitches. He's good enough. He's pitched enough innings, almost 2,400 innings in his career. He can still hit those spots. Looks like a changeup right here. He went through a couple signs. Garver did.
And pulled foul. Well, this long at bat by O'Hearn, regardless of how it ends, will have given Duffy a little time to collect himself in the dugout after Santana got first 2 outs on 3 very quickly delivered pitches, and now a fly to left field. It's got some carry. Rosario back and making the catch on the track. A 1-2-3 second inning for Irvin Santana. from ear to ear last night.
And he should have. And the nice speech for Santana. I think he thanked everybody in the ballpark and every teammate he had for the years that he was with the Twins. But congratulations, Johan. He was nice enough to come up here for an inning in yesterday's ball game.
Miguel Sano takes a strike from Danny Duffy. He'll be followed by Logan Forsythe and Max Kepler. Slow breaking ball on the outside corner, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Sano against Duffy, 3 hits and 18 at bats. Not very good, but one of the hits a home run. Duffy has allowed 20 home runs, 19 to right-handed hitters, only 1 to a left-handed hitter this year, and that was Chris Davis with the Orioles. So pretty tough against lefties. Righties are hitting .258 off of them this year.
Fastball down and in, 2-2. Sano's bumped his batting average up a little bit. When he came back to the big league club, it was .203. Now it's .211. But even when he's made outs, the outs have had different looks to them. Ground ball and a base hit up the middle. All right, now that was a base hit, but even if it had been an out, you know, before he got sent down to Fort Myers, it was, you know, fastball, breaking ball, check swing, strike 3, and back to the dugout time after time after time, and we haven't seen any of that.
Well, pretty good pitch right there that he hit. Looked like it was down low. You can see Sano making the adjustment, kind of bringing that bat in a little bit and finding that hole up the middle. So good at bat for Sano. Twins get their first hit.
Now Logan Forsythe. Base hit right field. Sano skips rope to stay out of the way. And Forsythe with a single. And the Twins have the makings of something here early in the second inning.
Yeah, Forsythe coming over, of course, in the Dozier trade with the Dodgers. He's picking up some hits, picked up a couple RBIs already.
That'll bring up Max Kepler, who hit one of 3 home runs last night. Our DQ combination.
Yeah, Rosario got it going in the first inning with that solo home run and a couple 2-run home runs, one by Max Kepler and the other one by Logan Morrison. That ball's still up there somewhere. He crushed that one.
Kepler just 2 for 15 against Duffy, but he takes outside. And Kepler has his batting average up to .237. Kepler saw his name in the Minneapolis paper a couple times today, and I was kind of surprised how his career has been assessed to this point. Kepler bunts up a line and foul. Nearly got a bunt single.
Yeah, ball stays on the grass. It probably stays fair, but once it hit the ground right there, the dirt, you can see the spin of the ball go foul.
I look at Max Kepler and give me your thoughts. I look at him and I see a .270 to .280 hitter with 20 to 25 home runs and at least that many doubles. I see him growing into that type of player.
260.
Okay.
260 type hitter. I think he's capable of hitting more, but maybe drawing more walks.
He's been doing a nice job of that. 1-1 to Kepler.
But the power is there. 19 home runs last year. 14 so far here this year.
Just off the plate. Kepler leading the team with 49 walks drawn against 66 strikeouts. Two and 1. And now a strike.
Good curveball there by Duffy. Duffy just 29 years old, already in his 8th season with the Royals. Came up young.
Pounded foul. Twins down 2-0 on a Duda home run. Now a couple of singles to start the bottom of the second. Chased a high fastball, something he does not do very often. One away.
95-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone, and Duffy picking up his second strikeout. Strikeout pitcher with runners at first and second, nobody out. You'd like to get the strikeout, and Duffy was able to do that.
And now Garver. Garver hitting much better against right-handed pitchers than lefties, and he fouls it. One strike.
Looking for his first hit against Duffy, 0 for 6 in his meetings against Duffy on the mound. Good time to get it right here.
High fly to left. Coming in a few steps is Alex Gordon. 2 down, and that'll leave this rally to Adrianza. Adrianza.
Well, with Escobar now in Arizona, Adrianza's going to get some more playing time. Better as a right-handed hitter than a left-hander, hitting .295 from this side of the plate, .224 as a left-handed hitter.
And strike one. Pitch is up, and it's 1-1. Two and one. Mentioned the walks have been up for Duffy over the year, but boy, Twins haven't benefited from his wildness at all this year. There's a ball now, 3-1 with Cave on deck.
Well, you see the issue of the walks, 62 walks again in 132 innings coming into the ball game. Lance Lynn worked into the 5th inning yesterday for the Yankees. Didn't allow any runs, 1 hit.
A walk will load the bases for Cave. So a nice job by Duffy getting outs 1 and 2, but now a walk loads the bases, and Cave will have a chance with 2 down. Eighth walk that Duffy has issued this year, but again, he's given up just 2 earned runs all year long against the Twins. See if Cave can make him pay.
Cave has not faced Duffy yet this year. He is now.
Up and away, ball 1. Cut on and missed. 1-1. Cave's batting average against righties about twice what it is against lefties. And a strike called over the inside corner, 1-2.
See if he goes to the curveball or the fastball here.
Slow breaking ball just missed. And Duffy with a little bit of a bunny hop off the mound, like he thought he might have clipped the corner.
Start that curveball toward that left-handed hitter.
2-2 to Cave.
Foul behind Gene Glenn.
It's the second time in this series that the foul ball's been hit right to that corner of the dugout. Not a place you want to stand. It's like game one, somebody looked like they almost got hit over there.
Slow breaking ball and a fastball. Now another 2-2 pitch. A little bit low. It's a full count. The carousel will start. 3 runners out there, and they'll all break with the pitch.
That's why that 2-2 pitch is so important for a pitcher to make that hitter either swing it or make contact. Pretty good pitch right there.
A drive to right field. And gone. A grand slam. Jake Cave goes deep with the bases loaded.
Well, his first career grand slam for Jake Cave in his first at-bat against Danny Duffy. You know, when Duffy gave up that home run, he walked toward home plate and he talked to Bill Miller, kind of like, was that 2-2 pitch down? And Miller said, yes, it was. So he was questioning that 2-2 pitch, not a mistake right there he threw for the grand slam.
And now Grossman. No question that what you said is true. Duffy, I thought, showed pretty remarkable restraint, because it looked on our replay that that ball was right at the bottom tier of the strike zone. And then on the very next pitch, grand slam. A pitch up 1-1. There were a couple. Remember the slow breaking ball, and it looked like Duffy thought he might have gotten strike 3 on that pitch. Well, the Twins have scored just 2 runs against Duffy in 2 prior starts. They get 4 this inning. High and tight, and it's 2-1.
Duffy allowing his 21st home run of the year.
Strike called. 2-2. Big moment for Jake Cave. 4th home run of the year. Now 20 runs batted in. Grossman protects the plate. StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Well, 3-2 fastball, 108.7 miles an hour. Launch angle, pretty much of a line drive home run, 21 degrees.
And Duffy has plenty of time to get the 3rd out. Big turnaround for the Twins with Jake Cave emptying the bases. A grand slam. And it's 4-2 Twins.
Well, J.K. came to the Twins late in spring training in a deal with the Yankees, and he's had quite an impact when he's been given a chance to play up here, never more so than here in the second inning. A 2-out grand slam, and instead of the Royals leading by 2, it's the Twins by 2. 1 strike from Santana. Don't blink, you'll miss the next pitch.
That's a pretty good pitch right there. That caught the strike zone. So it's like Bill Miller at the beginning, first inning, looked like he's going to have a wide strike zone.
Didn't tell that to Danny Duffy.
Well, I remember the pitch to Perez that was inside that was called strike 3 in the first inning.
Yeah. And you can speak to this better than I, of course, but I would imagine you're out there on the mound. You just want consistency. Want to figure out what the strike zone is. You know, it's not a dynamic strike, or shouldn't be a dynamic strike zone. If it's a strike in the first, second inning, it should be a strike in the third.
Well, I pitched enough, Dick, that every umpire, they can have that box all they want, but every umpire is a little bit different, and you got to find out what he'll give you, what he won't.
Ground ball to Polanco, over to Sano, 1 away. One down, and now to the top of the order, Whit Merrifield. He's been Kansas City's most consistent hitter this year.
They really have. This guy, he can play. Just in his 3rd season with the Royals, 144 ball games last year. He hit .288, so this guy can hit. Got some pop also. 19 home runs last year. Merrifield only 6 this year. He's been a good leadoff hitter for Ned Yost.
Should have been the Royals All-Star, to take nothing away from Salvador Perez, and in a sense, Merrifield was punished or made to pay the price for the fact that catching in the American League and National League too is one of the weakest, if not the weakest position right now. And so the Royals had to have a representative despite their record, and it ended up being Salvador Perez, when instead Merrifield was probably more worthy of being an all-star. 2 strikes. Inside 1 and 2.
Yeah, Merrifield coming into the ball game. He's 9th in the American League in hitting. Mookie Betts leading at .341, and then there's Altuve. Don't be surprised at the end of the year Altuve will be on top. That guy can hit. But so can Betts.
Altuve's got to get activated first. He's been on the disabled list. And kind of a significant injury last night for the Astros. Lance McCullers had to come out of the ball game with a sore elbow, and they put him on the disabled list today, the 10-day list. But up to that point, the Astros were the last team to have more than 5 starters. In other words, this move, our Sanford Health injury report, be the first time that the Astros have had other than their original starting 5 starting pitchers.
One reason why they've won 71 ball games.
That's a little pop-up short right field, and that's going to die in front of Grossman. Good at bat for Merrifield, and he's aboard with 1 out in the 3rd. But you know, you've got teams like Boston, they're in win mode now, and clearly the Astros are too. We certainly hope that it's nothing serious for McCullers, but it's one of the reasons the month of August is going to be interesting, to see how active teams are
through the waiver wire.
Through the waiver wire, and the trades that can be made once players are cleared through waivers. That's how they got Verlander last year. It wasn't by means of or before the July trade deadline. It was before the August trade deadline. 1 strike.
Keep an eye on Merrifield at first base. 25 stolen bases. Stole a base here the other night. I'm going to throw over.
And now 1-1. And outside 2-1. Santana's been victimized by the home run ball. We mentioned the Cleveland start, his most recent start, 3 solo home runs, and now a 2-run home run in the first inning here this afternoon. Outside again.
Yeah,
an off speed.
Missed with a changeup there. Santana, when he's on, he has that 4-seam fastball. He's got the 2-seamer, has a little sink on it. He's had 1 double play turn behind him so far in his 2 prior starts.
A walk puts Gordon aboard with 1 out, 1st and 2nd, and Perez will bat. Thursday, August 16th, it's NDSU night here at Target Field. Limited number of NDSU theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a Bison Twins cap. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/NDSU or call 800-33-TWINS. Here's Perez, called out on strikes his first time up.
Now you need the ground ball right here. Perez has hit into 15 double plays.
Over the inside corner.
With the breaking ball.
But we've seen so many more of those. We haven't seen nearly the number of fastballs that we saw a year ago from Santana. Check swing. Did he go? Nope. 1-1.
Alan Parter at first base saying, first base umpire saying did not go. Forsythe at second base, keeping a close eye on Merrifield. Good lead at second base.
Pick off to second.
When you have a fast runner at second base, a lot of times, yeah, that's a nice play that you'll throw, you'll spin and throw, but sometimes it's important to pick up that left leg and then kind of spin around, just show him that you have that move.
1-1. Missed inside, and I think it's a valid point to mention that Santana spun and threw to Logan Forsythe, who, you know, he's trying to get to know the team signs and all of that. And Forsythe was there for the pickoff throw.
Sometimes that's just a daylight play too with your second baseman or shortstop. And Santana falling behind.
3-1 now to Perez.
Of course, Irvin missed a lot of time with that right middle finger surgery back in February. Trying to build that arm strength up.
On the line, foul. But 3-1, and it was another off-speed pitch. It was just a year ago, of course. He was throwing 94, 95 with the fastball. But if you're out there and you don't feel you've got a good fastball with command of it, it's kind of hard to throw it too often with men on base. Full count with 1 down. Threw the fastball and got a fly to right.
That's a good fastball right there. Good location. Merrifield will tag up. And Grossman slipping a little bit, releasing that ball back toward home plate.
A deep fly ball advancing Merrifield to third, but now 2 away.
Right. This is what you want right here as a pitcher. You need to make a good pitch, and that's a good fastball. Outer half of the plate, 90 miles an hour. You don't have to throw 95. Location, location, location. And Perez got underneath it a bit. That's a second out.
Garber's target was down and in, and it was down and away, but still got the job done. Here's Lucas Duda. Reached across the plate for a changeup, clubbed it into the bullpen for a 2-run home run.
Fastball missing, ball 1.
Yeah, one thing I saw in the first 2 ball games, Perez's, I think the scouting report was pitch him hard in. Same as Duda. Try to pitch him hard in. Right there, Garver sat inside, but the fastball was left out over the plate. Now Mitch working away. Breaking ball missing.
Base is open, but it's second base, and it's 2-0.
Of course, Duda looking for a fastball right here.
And
good changeup
on the outside corner. 2-1. 51 pitches. And it just seems like there haven't been more than 15 fastballs.
This will be pitch number
52, I think. That's a fastball, but nowhere near the strike zone, and it's another 3-ball count.
Yeah, 26 pitches so far this inning. Had 15 in the first, 11 last inning in a 1-2-3 inning, but struggling a bit here in the third.
He gave Perez a 3-1 off-speed pitch. See what he gives Duda.
Well, not the changeup away. That didn't work. There's a fastball right there at 89. Santana with 149 career wins. 124 losses, making his 379th major league start.
Full count to Duda. The runner at first. Gordon will take off.
Good changeup.
Struck him out.
Is that a slider maybe?
Pitched out of the jam, leaving 2 aboard and keeping the Twins lead at 4-2.
For baseball last night in Cleveland, Corey Kluber, the 2-time Cy Young winner, showed his Cy Young stuff to the Los Angeles Angels. A complete game shutout, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, only gave up 3 hits. When Kluber's on, he's as good as it gets. Could be starting against Barrios later next week in that same ballpark. Cleveland up 9, leading 3-2 in the 6th today.
Nice play by Merrifield with a glove-to-glove flip to the first baseman O'Hearn, and Rosario is retired, 1 away. And right now the Indians leading 3-2 in the top of the 6th, but there's some interesting rumblings coming out of the Angels clubhouse. There's a nice bunt, but Merrifield with a really nice play.
Nice play, using that glove and flipping it over to O'Hare.
Polanco, the batter, and a ground ball to third for the 3rd out of the 1st inning.
Reports coming that Mike Scioscia that this might be his last year. He's denying it.
Then they juggled some coaching assignments around internally. The Angels did today, calling up the AAA manager to serve on the major league staff. Eric Chavez will be managing the Salt Lake Bees. He's been at the helm of the Angels for 19 years, and there were reports that he plans on stepping down at the end of the year in his term to describe those rumors poppycock, which isn't a word you hear very often.
Well, I know what it means.
Liner to left, and Polanco continues to put the barrel of the bat on the ball more regularly from the right side of the plate.
That pitch left up a little bit, and Polanco hitting it sharply in the left gets his first hit, fourth hit for the Twins.
The Angels not only have struggled once they've gotten to the playoffs, they've struggled getting there. They got the best player in the game in Mike Trout, and they're 16 games behind the Astros and 2 games below the 500 mark.
Now their pitching staff has been very, very inconsistent.
Sano singled to start the second inning and injury prone. Sano singled to start the second, came in on the Cave grand slam. 1 strike. Speed pitch for a called second strike. And you look the American League West, bad time for the Mariners to have a 5-game losing streak, because the A's have had a 5-game winning streak. It's been a 5-game swing between those two teams in just 5 days.
Yeah, Seattle's offense has just not scored many runs. They're sputtering very poorly.
1-2 to Miguel Sano. There goes Polanco.
Good.
It's a check swing and a steal of second. Strike 3 on Sano. So it's the second out on a check swing.
And from his knees, Perez still able to make a good throw to second, but Polanco got a great jump off of Duffy right there. And Perez 16 for 35 now. Excuse me, 17 for 34 as far as potential base stealers are reaching. One of the best in the game. Polanco got a great jump off the pitcher. Perez, good throw. Polanco in scoring position. His 4th stolen base of the year.
Forsythe line to single to right his first time up. Now with 2 down and a runner at second, he takes strike 1. Forsythe now 3 for 9 as a member of the Twins. And an off-speed pitch tickling the outside corner. 0-2. Dumped down the right field line and a long run for O'Hearn, and oh, what a catch!
Wow.
Ryan O'Hearn, with his arm stretched as far as he could stretch it, makes a nice catch. the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. By Grant Casino, the best stories start here. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Twins trying to finish off the homestand 4-2. Get to within 6 games of the 500 mark. Irvin Santana will face Herrera to start the 4th inning. Strike 1.
Yeah. Twins need 3 more innings out of Santana. Give me 6 here. Got to get through the 4th first, though.
Missing inside, 1-1.
The importance of Barrios going 7 innings in yesterday's ball game. Bullpen pretty good shape. Of course, the first night here with a couple of rain delays.
Right.
Put some pressure on guys having to come out of the bullpen. I believe 5 different relievers used.
1-2 to Rosell Herrera. Phillips and Bonifacio will follow. That's lobbed to center, and that'll be down for a hit. Another leadoff hit for the Royals. Actually, it's their first leadoff hit. It was a 1-out single for Merrifield last inning. And now Brett Phillips. Phillips with a pop to short his first time up. Sano swipes the tag on Herrera.
Herrera, good speed, good minor league numbers. Not much success yet at the big leagues. 1 stolen base in 4 attempts.
Big swing and a foul. Phillips coming over to the Royals in the Moustakas trade, and boy, is it ever a welcome sight, I'm sure, for Phillips to be able to play up here, because he had several log jams in front of him. The Brewers had a pretty good outfield last year, and then of course they picked up Christian Yelich, Lorenzo Cain, stockpiling outfielders, and Phillips' progress was retarded because of some of the moves that the big league club made.
And we got a guy playing center field right now, Jake Cave, same situation
right.
with the Yankees, and he's so far making the most out of it, and that's what Phillips hopes to do in Kansas City.
2 strikes to Phillips, very strikeout prone in both his minor and major league career. Up and away, not close. When the Royals have been good, they won the World Series, of course, in 15, back in 85, got to the World Series 1980. Total of 4 World Series appearances. Phillips did a nice job staying alive there. But when they've been good, they've been very athletic. They've never been, at least the good Royals teams, have never been lumbering sluggers who go station to station. They've had guys like Willie Wilson. And of course, the bunch that won the World Series just a few years ago, Cain was an athlete in center, Gordon an athlete in left. And inside, a swing and a miss, and a strikeout for the first out of the 4th.
Santana picking up his 3rd strikeout. You're forgetting about John Mayberry and Steve Balboni. That was their power hitters, basically.
Yeah.
George Brett a little bit.
I just associate the Royals franchise, their good teams, with speed and athleticism. And the point I was going to make is, in that category, Phillips would fit in real well. He's got to make contact, though. 1 down, and Herrera with Bonifacio at the plate. A pop-up. And Adrianza calls off Polanco, 2 down. We'll bring up O'Hearn. Stretch it out on the grass at Target Field for Yoga Night, presented by United Healthcare on Wednesday, September 5th. Participants will receive a Twins branded yoga mat
Twins game ticket and an on-field yoga class. Reserve your spot today at twinsbaseball.com/yoga. O'Hearn with a fly to left made it out to the warning track, but Rosario hauled it in to close out the second inning.
O'Hearn just getting called up from AAA on July 31st. This is just his 5th major league game. 2 hits in 14 at bats so far.
Pulled on the ground to Sano, may hit him in the wrist, but he'll make the play to end the 4th inning. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Twins leading 4-2. Xfinity getting us caught up.
Yeah, 2 clubs that don't hit a lot of home runs. It's Duda's home run, a 2-run home run, that coming in the 1st inning, giving the Royals an early 2-0 lead. But his first grand slam in the big leagues, Jake Cave, that coming in the 2nd inning. It's a 4-2 Twins lead.
And now Max Kepler taking ball 1.
Cave hoping to hit this inning.
Kepler swings through the 2nd pitch, 1-1.
Duffy used to throw a lot of sliders. Now it's more the curveball. Kel Eldred, the pitching coach in spring training, noticed that he was down there throwing his curveball, and he was kind of favoring his slider more than his curveball.
I fly deep left center field. Phillips chasing it. That ball hits the warning track and bounces into the bullpen. Another extra base hit for Kepler. A double against Duffy to start the 4th inning.
A good at bat by Kepler right there. Looked like a fastball that he just took it the other way. So, double number 23 on the year for Max Kepler. Take a look. Fastball away. Kepler let it get a little bit deeper into the swing zone. Good contact right in the gap on the warning track. Bounces into the bullpen. Ground rule double.
That's been beyond, hitting for a decent average against lefties. It's the extra base hits against lefties. He's got 10 doubles and 5 home runs against lefties in 111 at bats. That's a very good slugging percentage against left-handers.
Well, Garver's job right here, trying to get Kepler over to 3rd.
And an off-speed pitch on the outside corner. It's 1-1.
Mentioned before, these clubs don't rely a lot on home runs. They have to do the little things to get a run here or there. And this is a situation, leadoff double. Sure, Mitch knows what he wants to do.
Down
Can
and away.
he do it?
We've seen him get base hits to the right side on ground balls when the opening has been there. It's not right now, in part because of his ability to hit the ball to the right side. Merrifield, where a second baseman would typically be. Popped up. And a play for O'Hearn and foul ground. One down. And now Adrianza. Join Fox Sports North at the next viewing party on August 7th. We'll be in Cleveland, and you can be at McHugh's Public House in Savage. Watch the Twins take on Cleveland. Enjoy drink specials. Register for the chance to win tickets and prizes and more. Visit foxsportsnorth.com/events for details.
Yeah, I was watching that swing of Garver right there. Give him credit. At least, you know, he made the out, but it looked like he still tried to hit it the other way. The ball was just in on him, and he ended up popping it up.
Now Adrianza drew a big 2-out walk in front of the Cave grand slam. Strike one. That was all back in the second inning. Swing and a miss.
I was saying about his slider, Cal Eldred, they were down in the bullpen and he was throwing the curveball, but he kind of liked his slider, and Cal said, "You got a good curveball." Well, they went with more with a curveball. He's got good tight break on that curveball, and he'll throw an occasional slider once in a while, but mainly fastballs, curveball now, and changeup.
Down and in. Did you ever try to throw a slider?
Yeah, as I got older, more of a cut fastball in on left-handers.
Okay.
Never really a true slider.
1-2 to Adrianza. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Kepler to third. He's being waved around. He's heading home. Phillips's throw is not in time and not caught by Perez. And the Twins take a 5-2 lead. Phillips has got a great arm. And he missed the cutoff man. Adrianza was going to second, and then Perez didn't catch the throw.
Well, Perez knew that Kepler was going to score, so he went toward the pitcher's mound to retrieve that hard, fast throw from Phillips. But Adrianza, good hitting right here, right back up the middle. Picks up an RBI, his 20th of the year. And Phillips come in, charges. See O'Hearn right there, gets in the way, but Perez says, okay, we'll try to get Adrianza at second, but the ball hit the heel of his glove.
Ball one now to Jake Cave, who clobbered a 3-2 pitch for a grand slam back in the second inning against Duffy.
It's an RBI single, and then advancing on the throw home. Well, 3-2 fastball, and Cave gave it a ride.
Swung on and missed. Now you look at Cave, and he's had 114 at bats, and he's got 20 runs batted in. Another one out there. 1-2 pitch, tap foul. And we've seen through a couple of mistakes out there, but we've seen pretty good range in center field at a time when the Twins need somebody to play center field until Byron Buxton gets back here, whenever that is. 1-2. And now 2-2.
I said in our Pizza Ranch keys to the win, you needed some luck to turn around for the Twins against Duffy, and maybe it was that 2-2 fastball that wasn't called, allowed Cave to get the 3-2 fastball and hit the grand slam. This time he strikes out against Duffy. Duffy picking up his 4th strikeout.
Statcast tracking Kepler on the base hit up the middle.
Did a good job of tagging third base and then sliding into home plate.
Grossman will bat 0 for 2. He struck out in the first, hit a semi soft hard line drive back to Duffy. It bounced out of his glove. He was thrown out to close out the second inning.
Robbie's had some good at-bats against Duffy. 7 hits and 20 at-bats coming into this ball game.
That's to left center field. Gordon chasing it. Won't get there. Grossman delivers an extra base hit. Adrianza scores, and it's 6-2.
Now we saw Adrianza pick up Garver and unable to advance Kepler over to third. And then good base running by Adrianza, getting into scoring position. Hanging breaking ball right there. Grossman, who had good numbers, as I mentioned, 7 for 20. Lines it into left center. He picks up a double, his 17th of the year, driving in his 34th run. So a guy that came into this ball game, Duffy, in 3 prior starts this season, only allowed 2 runs in 19 innings. The Twins have put a 6 spot on the board so far.
No activity in the Kansas City pen, and now Rosario. Rosario 0 for 2, dropped down what looked to be a pretty good bunt, but Merrifield made a really nice play to retire him, leading off the 3rd inning. Popped up. Phillips with the catch. Good inning for the Twins. A leadoff double. Couple hits followed to drive in 2 more. Fans of the game liking the last couple innings when the Twins have scored 6 runs, having a great time on a beautiful summer afternoon. And the Twins do enjoy a 6-2 lead. Nobody's enjoying it more than Irvin Santana. And the first pitch fastball, strike, 87 miles per hour to Alcides Escobar.
He's faced 18 batters now, 15 first pitch strikes for Santana. So getting ahead in the count.
Missing inside, 1-1. And a base hit into the left field corner. Rosario will fire it back in, lob it back in. Actually, Escobar not going any place, down by 4 runs. Second straight inning that has started with a single for Kansas City.
Yeah, 5th hit for the Royals.
And now Merrifield, who has one of those hits, a single his last time up. And foul by about 10 feet. 1 strike.
Look at the American League Central, and Cleveland clearly is the best team. Then you have the Twins in second place. Tigers rebuilding. They're 17 games below 500 starting play today. The White Sox 30 games below. And the Royals 42 games below 500. And although the Twins would like to be closer than the 9 games that they are behind Cleveland, you look at the 5 teams and they're kind of placed, I think, where most people thought they'd be placed, right? I mean, until somebody beat Cleveland, they were going to be the favorites going in, right? And then the Twins got in the wild card last year, finished second last year.
They have Detroit, Chicago, Kansas City going into the season, kind of rebuilding,
Right.
a lot of youth and some veterans.
But of those 3 teams, I would have picked Detroit as a third place team, because they do have, or did have, Miguel Cabrera and still some guys who've won there.
Victor Martinez still swinging away. Castellanos.
We'll see the Tigers next weekend in Detroit.
Well, you got to win in your division. Again, 76 of the 162 ball games are in your division. And the Indians have won 32 of the 47 games they've played
Right.
so far in the division.
Twins, as we said before, they'll have the lead in the season series with Cleveland, but the Indians have done a much better job beating up on the likes of the Royals and the Tigers and the White Sox. Little pop up short center. Cave coming in, and that's going to drop for a hit.
That's a good pitch too.
And
Wow.
Merrifield's aboard with his second single. There have been a couple of those just softly hit between the infielders and the outfield.
A little doink right there. Just not a bad pitch. Looked like it was inside. Merrifield kind of jammed himself, but the ball falls into no man's land. Going inside, the ball running in, but Merrifield just hit it softly into the right spot.
Nobody out here in the 5th inning, and Gordon will bat. He's reached twice with a single and a walk.
First mound visit by the catcher and the middle infielders.
Twins leading by 4, and Santana doesn't want anything to mushroom here in the 5th inning. On the outside corner.
That's a
right.
big out right here. Need to get Gordon out.
Blocked by Garvin.
Action in the bullpen for the Twins. Gabriel Moya.
A couple of veteran hitters here. Gordon a lefty, Perez a righty, and if things look like they are going to mushroom, I would imagine Moya would come in to pitch to Duda. And into right field, a base hit. Escobar around third, he'll score. And the throw coming all the way to the plate. And the Royals start the 5th inning with 3 singles. And now we'll get the tying run to the plate.
Gordon picking up his second hit. Driving in Escobar. And for Gordon, his 28th run batted in. And his second hit.
Well, they've been swinging it pretty well since the All-Star break.
Ball left up. Gordon waiting back nicely. Flips it through the infield.
Garvin Alston will come to the mound, take his time in getting there. With Moya trying to get loose. And given how this inning has started, thinking one way or the other, this is whether he gets him or not, Perez might be Santana's last man. Might need a double play grounder to stay in the game and try to complete 5.
Bill Miller, the home plate umpire, walking out to the mound, trying to break it up. He did a good job of that.
Perez 0 for 2 today after a hitless ball game last night. strikeout and a fly ball to right so far this afternoon.
Need a ground ball.
Over the inside corner.
And that's where Odorizzi, even though he worked only 3+ innings, and Barrios, that's how they tried to pitch to Perez. Middle in.
That's deep to left.
Off the end of the bat. Okay.
Rosario with the catch, one away. You're right, just a little bit off the end of the bat, but that had the right launch angle when it left the infield.
That was a good slider right there. That little slider that'll move, you know, 6 to 8 inches. Perez thought he probably, you know, got good wood on it, but it was right off the end of the bat. First out on the fly ball to Rosario.
And here comes Paul Molitor to bring in Moya to face Duda. Santana unable to complete 5 innings, unable to qualify for the win, but 3 singles that brought the tying run to the plate. Perez was retired. Duda will face Moya, with the Twins hanging on to a 6-3 lead. Stuff for Irvin Santana. Twins have a 6-3 lead. Cancer seems to impact everyone in Twins territory, and you can join us August 14th to show your support for cancer awareness. Supporters purchasing tickets through this special theme night ticket package will receive a Twins cancer awareness hat. The color of the Twins logo on the front of the hat corresponds to the color associated with the most prevalent cancers seen throughout Twins territory. To learn more and join the Twins in their effort to strike out cancer, visit twinsbaseball.com/cancer awareness.
Well, you know, I just think he did a great job of getting strike one. 21 batters, 18 first pitch strikes, but just not Irvin Santana yet. Not the one we're used to.
Duda with 3 infielders on the pull side, 2 men on and 1 away. Inside ball 1.
Got Moya coming into the ball game. He worked here on Friday night, an inning and 2/3. Gave up 4 hits, a couple runs. He did face Duda in the 5th inning, and Duda got a sacrifice fly, drove in a run that night, making his 12th relief appearance in his 3rd stint with the Twins.
At the knees, a strike. The trade of Zach Duke has opened the door wide open for Gabriel Moya. He's got a chance to prove that in situations like this, he can get dangerous left-handed hitters out. To this point, he's not done that. This is a big spot for Moya. Blocked by Garver, 2-1.
Moya fastball, slider that missed right there, and very good changeup. Moya, 23 years old. He came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks last July, late July, in a trade where the Twins sent John Ryan Murphy to the Diamondbacks. Appeared in 7 games in September of last year.
Swung on and missed.
That's a changeup right there. Good arm speed. It's an unusual setup that Moya does when he gets the sign and gets ready to get into that stretch position. A lot of moving parts. Swinging the arm, looking for the sign from Mitch Garver. See there, little toe tapping.
And fouled away. Now last year he was with the Twins just for a cup of latte grande or whatever they drink now. But just 9 left-handed batters faced. He gave up 2 hits. Two and 2 to Duda. Duke, of course, was exceptional against left-handed hitters. Got him with a fastball.
Good fastball.
2 down.
Good fastball out over the plate. Maybe Duda looking for that changeup that he swung through earlier. You know, Santana struck him out on a slow pitch to end the 3rd inning. Something off speed right here. Good fastball. Strike 3. Big strikeout right there for Duda and the Twins.
And now Herrera, who singled his last time up. Just missing the corner down and away.
I think the Royals are intrigued by this young man too, Herrera. Acquired off of waivers from the Reds back in early June. Hitting well from both sides of the plate. We saw him in right field last couple nights at 3rd base.
Fly ball left field in the ballpark.
Good changeup right there.
And a good outing for Gabriel Moya. The Royals get 1 but leave 2.
Both guys pointed the same thing. His discipline at the plate. As good a hitter with 2 strikes as he was when he's ahead in the count. They both separately compared him to the way Joe Mauer approaches his at-bats. He is unafraid to get behind in the count. Mauer thinks he might be even better when he gets 2 strikes. Keep an eye on that trend. Polanco becoming a very disciplined and solid hitter in this lineup.
Thank you, Kevin. Hope that you're enjoying the Beautiful weather outside on a gorgeous summer day here at Target Field. And Polanco will lead things off. And then Sano and Forsythe. One strike. And O'Hearn's going to get another chance at one and foul ground here. One down. And now Miguel Sano. Sano singled up the middle to lead off the second, scored on the Cave grand slam, and then was called out on a check swing in the third inning. Before the game today, the Twins acknowledged and throw out the first pitch, ceremonial first pitch, to Paul Molitor. Rob Fornacier, who spent 31 years working for John Anderson with the Gopher baseball program, and just a tremendous baseball advocate in this area. And he's retiring in good health, and so we want to wish from the extended Twins family the very best to a really good baseball man.
Yeah, congratulations on your career.
1-1 to Sano.
That's a lot of dedication right there to a lot of young men and helped them mature. I saw Ryan Lefevre down there, former Gopher.
Right.
Paul Molitor, of course, former Gopher.
Last night Glenn Perkins was here. Worked with them all. Dan Wilson, great catcher for the Mariners, now a part-time broadcaster there. 2-1 to Miguel Sano. Chopped foul. You know, I thought about that last night too, with all of Johan Santana's former teammates in attendance here. Louis Rivas, J.C. Romero, Juan Rincon, Christian Guzman. 2-2 to Sano.
Morneau was there.
Swung on and missed, and Sano goes down swinging, 2 down. With the Minnesota Lottery, every day is game day, and today's Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle features Robert, who won $100 in scratch tickets. Robert is celebrating a recent trip to see the Twins at Wrigley Field. If you're up for fun, say I'm in. But as I was watching the ceremony last night, it's obviously a great moment for the inductee, but it is also a great moment for the former teammates and the coaches. There's a special acknowledgement made from Johan last night to Perry Castellano, strength and conditioning coach for the Twins. And I likened it to, you know, if you're a 4th grade teacher, let's say, and you go to a high school graduation and you see a pupil of yours graduate high school.
Is that Hadaway or is that Pastime?
There's Perry.
That's Perry.
But if you're the 4th grade teacher for a high school graduate or a college graduate, you've got to feel some pride that you had something to do with the achievement. And there were a lot of people that Johan thanked last night, but they all felt, I'm sure, that they were a part of his success. Half swing by Forsythe, and the Twins have a 1-2-3 5th inning. Waterfalls throughout the state. High Falls of the Pigeon River, the tallest fall in the state, is located in Grand Portage State Park and plummets 120 feet. Find endless ideas for the perfect getaway at exploreminnesota.com. Share your favorites with hashtag #OnlyInMN. And to get there, you got to get on Highway 61. You go through Grand Marais, you go through Colville, you keep going through Grand Portage. And if you get to Canada, you've gone too far.
Turn around.
Turn around. Beautiful up there. Here's Brett Phillips, 0 for 2, a pop-up to short and a strikeout so far, facing Gabriel Moya.
Yeah, Moya starting this inning. 2 of the 3 hitters this inning, and the 1, 2, 3 are left-handed hitters.
Ball 1, now strike 1. Tapped up the line, foul. 1 and 2. Trevor May, next reliever to get loose here. Moya got 2 big outs in the 5th. One and 2 to Phillips. On the outside corner, pretty much the same pitch he used to strike out Duda.
He painted that corner right there. His second strikeout of 3 batters he's faced so far for Moya. Good location. Garver sitting out there right on the black.
So he's faced 2 lefties here today and struck them both out looking. And now Bonifacio, another lefty waiting on deck, O'Hearn. Outside ball 1. And caught at third by Adrianza for out number 2.
Well, nice reaction right there by Adrianza. The ball looked like it was going to get by him, and he just quickly went to his left, made a nice grab of that soft line drive. So good reaction right there. See, first movement, very nicely done.
2 down and now O'Hearn. As teams more and more have been reliant on relief pitchers rather than starters to get outs, it's even more and more important to not have a cookie cutter bullpen. You can't have a whole bunch of relievers out there who all feature the same stuff. A mid-90s fastball, decent secondary pitch with the same delivery. Sano charges and flips. Hey, how about Moya? 5 up, 5 down, including a couple of strikeouts of left-handed batters.
Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. 6-3 Twins in front. They'll hit now in the 6th inning. Hoping to complete a 3-game sweep over the Royals. And it'll be Max Kepler to lead things off in the 6th. Danny Duffy still out there, even though the Twins, by their standards, have roughed him up.
Again, Duffy making his 8th career start here at Target Field. Came into this ball game 4-0 with a 1.93 ERA in his 7 previous starts. But the Twins here this afternoon have found some luck against him and have scored 6 runs. 93 pitches now, 63 for strikes.
And a strike. Kepler's played some center field, mainly right field, of course. 1-1 from Duffy. And now high. Best center fielder in Twins history. Went into the Hall of Fame on this date in 2001. Kirby Puckett and Dave Winfield both were inducted on this date 17 years ago. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Tim Hill warmed up perhaps, with Duffy approaching 100 pitches. Another base hit for Kepler. 2-strike line drive single to left against Danny Duffy.
Another quick at bat right there for Kepler as far as his quickness of his hands. There's a fastball away, just quickly, and hit it sharply in the left field.
And a hit to left center field, now to left field. There's Mitch Garver. Fly ball to left and a foul out to first. Garver's cooled off a bit in August after a really good July. Out in front, strike 1.
Good changeup right there by Duffy.
Trevor Hildenberger getting loose now. Could be 2. It's 1. And a quick pivot by Merrifield. It is a double play. 2 down. MLB At Bat is your #1 Twins app. You can customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Twins home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. And now Adrianza. Cleveland leading the Angels now 4-2. Angels falling back below the 500 mark. And earlier we talked about the surprising Oakland A's and the fading Seattle Mariners. There's just 3.5 games separating the A's and the Yankees now in terms of a wild card spot.
Yeah, Bob Melvin's done a great job in Oakland.
But just think, you know, the Red Sox have been beating up on the Yankees. And if the Yankees fade at all the way the A's are playing, and if the Mariners can catch fire, there's a chance, of course, that the Yankees might not even make the postseason as good as the A's are playing. 2-1 to left center field, and that ball headed out to Phillips. He makes the catch, and the Twins send just 3 men to the plate in the 6th.
lead thanks to Lucas Duda's 2-run home run off of Irvin Santana. But the Twins in the bottom of the second inning loaded the bases for Jake Cave on a 3-2 fastball. His first career grand slam made it a 4-2 ball game. Then a couple runs scored by the Twins in the bottom of the fourth, highlighted by an RBI double by Robbie Grossman.
The outfielder's having a pretty productive day at the plate. No one more productive than Cave with the grand slam in the second. And now Trevor Hildenberger will come in to pitch to the Royals in the seventh.
Yeah, Trevor making his 52nd relief appearance. That's the most used out of that bullpen. He pitched here on Friday night, 1 shutout inning. Gave up a hit, got a couple strikeouts through 19 pitches. Done a good job out of that bullpen.
Face Escobar, Merrifield, and Gordon. As Moya was making quick work of the Royals at the top of the sixth, I started to talk about how teams really, with so many relievers, as many as 8, sometimes even 9 relievers, the last thing you would want is a cookie cutter bullpen where they all kind of look the same. Well, the Twins have built that. Moya with his quirkiness and his delivery from the left side. Then you've got Hildenberger here with a curious delivery. Even Oliver Drake yesterday kind of looked with an unusual delivery, straight overhand, and a big tall guy with that angle. And Reed is, he throws across his body. He's got a different look. And off the glove of Adrianza, then into short left field, and Escobar's going to scamper to second base. And now Rosario overruns the ball, but it'll be a leadoff double in the seventh.
A good hustle by Escobar right there, rounding first and seeing the ball slowly get through the infield. Adrianza dove for it, got a piece of his glove, and then got behind Polanco. So a good effort right there. But it's a hustle double. Escobar with his second hit of the ball game. Right off the tip of the glove. Oh, actually underneath the glove. And right there, Escobar hustling, sliding in safely.
Third leadoff hit for the Royals, and now Merrifield, who has 2 singles in his last 2 at bats. Anyway, with relievers asked to get more and more outs seemingly every year, I think the Twins are kind of following the model of a lot of teams to try to show different looks. You can change pitchers all you want, but if they all have the same delivery, then what have you gained by changing pitchers all the time? 2-0. Hildenberger trying to pitch around the leadoff ground ball double. Now a ball lifted to deep left center field. Rosario chasing it. That ball's got some carry and it's gone. It's a 1-run ball game at 6-5.
Yeah, Merrifield got that ball up, and boy, that ball just kept going.
Third hit of the afternoon for Merrifield, his 7th home run of the year.
The 7th home run that Hildenberger has allowed.
Replay brought to you by Carrier.
Fastball right there. Merrifield showing off his power. Hit 19 home runs last year. This is his 7th so far this year.
Bases empty, nobody out. Alex Gordon takes outside ball 1. Moya had such a good outing, and now Hildenberger giving up a double and a home run to his first 2 batters. Lifted harmlessly towards left, and Rosario gloves it 1 away. That'll bring up Perez. Dale Swaim, the hitting coach, looking on. Perez hitless last night, 0 for 3 so far today. And
Hildenberger tries to hit that spot with the first pitch. Strike down and in, but he missed inside. Ball one. Cut off. Polanco deep in the hole. Fires across. Nice stretch by Sano. 2 down.
That's knowing who's at the plate, too. Polanco made a nice play off the grass and knew, well, Perez running. He's not the quickest down that first baseline. But a nice play. Backhanded. Sets. And makes a nice strong throw over to Sano.
Two down now after the 2-run home run, and here is Duda. Strike over the inside corner. Duda hit the 2-run home run into the bullpen in the first inning. Since then, a couple of strikeouts. Change-up, got a mighty swing and a miss. And again, the inning ends. Rough start to the inning for Hildenberger as the Royals get 2, but the Twins still lead by 1. Last game of the homestand, and it's our pleasure to bring you God Bless America.
Fans, please rise and welcome 2018 Twins audition winners, the Foti family, as they lead us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, the land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home, my home, sweet home.
Where the San Diego Padres haven't had a lot to think about or enjoy until this. Franmil Reyes, holy cow, 477 feet, 5th longest this season. I wanted to know what a home run nearly 480 feet looked like. I don't think the pitcher did, but center field guys, they're up 5-1 on the Cubs. Cubs hanging on to that slim 1-game lead in the National League Central.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Jake Cave will lead things off against Tim Hill, another lefty. This one a reliever. This time Cave will face against the left-handed reliever.
Hill making his 48th relief appearance in his rookie season with the Royals. Last year made a jump from Single-A and Double-A. Made the club out of spring training using that underarm delivery. Hill, 28 years old, originally signed by the Royals back in 2014.
1-1 to Cave. We're talking about the Twins bullpen having some different looks, and Hill certainly gives the Royals bullpen a different look.
One thing the Royals are doing, they're bringing up a lot of young kids getting the opportunity to pitch at the major league level. Hill, one of those rookies.
On the outside corner, Cave is gone. One away.
Well, Danny Duffy worked 6 innings. He gave up 8 hits, 6 runs, all earned. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Wow, that's nasty right there, coming from almost second base. And Perez framing it, and Hill picking up a strikeout.
And now Grossman, an RBI double his last time up, driving in the last run the Twins have scored so far, and that run is the one that is standing up as the lead for the Twins. Foul back a strike. There have been side armors before who are left-handed, and I'm trying to think. There have been a left-handed submariner. Grossman drives another base hit. This one to center field. He's aboard with 1 out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
And now Tony Leo, the trainer, coming out. Grossman's got to come out of the game. Like something happened when he left the batter's box.
Take a look right here. Good swing. Oh, maybe it looked like the right knee maybe buckled on him. Just guessing.
Grossman,
by his reaction,
will head down, and Grossman slamming his helmet, almost as if he knows what it is. So a couple of hits for Grossman, but now he's got to leave the ball game.
Logan Morrison taking over.
The knees seem all right. Maybe in starting to run, tweaked a hamstring. At any rate, we'll find out if we get word. Rosario is going to hit with Morrison, the pinch runner. A swinging bunt, and Hill makes a nice play, and Rosario kind of awkwardly cleared the base at first. Morrison advances to second, 2 down.
Well, I'll say it again for a lot of kids out there that maybe, you know, pitcher, once you let that ball go, you become an infielder. Hill did a good job getting over there, and the ball was dying in front of him. So don't use your glove barehanded. Exactly what Hill did right here. Once the ball hit the turf, picks it up, barehands it, and gets the speedy Rosario on a bang-bang play. If he goes after it with his glove, Rosario's probably safe.
And now Polanco and the Twins could use that runner at second base. Polanco is 1 for 3 on the day. And the Twins, of course, would love to have their best outfield defense out there for the last 2 innings, but Max Kepler is the designated hitter. And so the decision is, do you put Morrison out in the outfield to replace Grossman, or do you put Kepler out there and then lose the DH for the balance of the game? And now Polanco collapses after a foul ball.
Well, Adrianza can play the outfield too, so they may move Sano over to third and put Morrison at first. So a couple options for Paul Molitor.
right off the top of the foot.
Ouch.
Then Mauer's on the bench. He could fill in at first base too. We'll see how it all plays out here. But more concern right now is Robbie Grossman, of course, and what the injury is. One and one.
Well, Hill came into this ball game. Right-handers are hitting 307 off of him, where left-handers hitting 229. So Grossman is a right-handed hitter, got a base hit.
Fouled away, and again, Polanco's best swings in this homestand have been from the right side, not the left side. See if he can pick up a big RBI here in the 7th after the Royals scored a couple in the top. One and two. Roller left side, picked up by Herrera. The inning ends. We head to the 8th in a one-run game.
For a Hall of Fame flashback. On this date 17 years ago, Kirby Puckett was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. And joining him, Minnesota and St. Paul native Dave Winfield and one of the great defensive second basemen of all time, Bill Mazeroski.
Well, the Twins have had to juggle their defensive chart here with Adrianza, in fact, moving to left field. Rosario moving over to right field. Sano moving from third base over to first base. And Morrison in at first base.
And that keeps the Kepler as a DH, so the pitcher doesn't have to hit.
Doesn't get to hit.
Always a good
Doesn't
thing.
get to hit.
Doesn't have to hit.
Here's Herrera. Phillips and Bonifacio will follow against Taylor Rogers.
Yeah, Taylor worked the 8th inning here the other night on Friday night, a 1-2-3, and he had a couple strikeouts. His first batter he faced was Herrera, and he hit a ground ball to short for an out. And he picked up a couple strikeouts after that. Taylor making his 48th relief appearance.
2-0. Rogers entrusted with a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. Chopper to third. Sano fields. Fires on the run, and Morrison tried to backhand pick, and it didn't work. Herrera and his speed are aboard. A low throw by Sano. And the tying runs aboard with nobody out.
Well, Sano playing back on it. He comes in and on the run. Throws that ball low. Morrison trying to use those soft hands, but in and out of the glove. We'll see how they rule it. No ruling yet.
Here's Brett Phillips. An error on Sano.
It's the first error by either club in this 3-game series.
Pitch up and in with Phillips squaring to bunt.
The Twins anticipating a bunt. Sano was in on the grass.
With Phillips' speed, there isn't much margin for error. I mean, if it's a decent bunt at all, you've got to commit to getting the out at first and not waste any time. 1 strike. Herrera's just 1 for 4 as a base stealer. Swing through, strike 2.
Got him.
And Phillips strikes out, 1 away.
Yeah, Taylor Rogers struck him out here on Friday night. And he gets Phillips right there on a good curveball, good location.
1 down.
So Astor sacrificed, then had the opportunity to swing away and takes the hard breaking ball for strike 3.
And now Bonifacio. Now with 1 out and Herrera still at first, Royals might be more inclined to try to send him, see if he can steal second base. Pulled foul.
Well, you can see Taylor's pretty quick home. He doesn't bring that right knee up and hold it. Pretty quick release toward the catcher.
One strike to Bonifacio. Kept it near his shin guards.
Bonifacio's season started when he was suspended for 80 ball games, just like Jorge Polanco, violating the drug and MLB program.
Vermey getting hot for the second time today. And now fouled away, 1-2.
"17 home runs last year for Bonifacio. Got some pop. But very strikeout prone. So Taylor would like to get right here.
1-2. Breaking ball beaten just foul under Sano's glove. Third base umpire Todd Tishner called it a foul ball.
Thank goodness.
Left delay here. Adrianza will make his second flip into the crowd. Take a look right down the line here.
Saw this the other night with Perez. That ball's definitely foul.
One the other night was fair.
Yeah, sure
looked like it. 1-2. Up high, not by much. Good fastball at 94. 2-2.
Left-handers, of course, as a potential base stealer, tough to run against. Taylor pretty quick home. It's almost a guessing game at times.
Checked his swing, 3-2. O'Hearn on deck.
Yeah, look for Herrera to take off here on a 3-2 pitch. That's my guess. 1 out. Strike him out, throw him out.
Easier to do that with a fastball.
Well, he stayed.
And
what did he stay for? He could have had a strikeout, throw him out.
Because Rogers gave him a fastball and Bonifacio swung right through it. 2 away. Hunter Dozier will hit in O'Hearn's spot.
I said he's strikeout prone. Good fastball by Taylor, picking up his second straight strikeout.
Dozier hitting for O'Hearn. And here comes Paul Molitor. He's going to bring Trevor May in. Dozier as a pinch hitter is 1 for 2. Taylor Rogers faced 3 men. An error, 2 strikeouts. He comes out. Trevor May will come in. Favorite Minnesota pro sports teams for United Way Action Day, an all ages family friendly volunteer event on Thursday, August 9th at Target Center. We still need your help packing 25,000 backpacks with school supplies for Minnesota kids. In addition to volunteering, Action Day will be action packed, featuring games, prizes, photo booths, a mini Crayola experience, and more. Visit gtcuw.org/Action Day and register today. Well, Trevor May, who had a good outing here the other night and then came out after the second rain delay, will try to get an awfully big out here in the top of the 8th inning.
Hey, worked the 6th inning. He had 3 strikeouts in that inning, and he gave up 1 hit, and that was to Hunter Dozier, who he'll face here with 2 outs.
First pitch fouled back.
Dozier 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter.
Grossman leaving the game with a mild right hamstring strain. We'll hope it stays mild and he recovers quickly. One strike. And now a ball. May had a really effective outing. He was able to locate a mid-90s fastball, and of course he's always had the really good changeup and a good breaking ball too.
Through 17 pitches, 13 for strikes here on Friday night.
1-1 to Dozier.
Long hold. And Dozier calling time.
Little breaking ball and a pop-up short right field. Morrison twisting around and can't make the play. And it's a base hit. And the Royals have runners at first and third, and there should be 4 outs this inning.
Well, with the shift put on, Forsythe's over by shortstop almost up the middle. So Morrison, who got twisted around, just could never really balance himself and find that baseball. So a little doink right there. Morrison looking for the ball. See him get spun around. The ball hits the turf.
Base hit for Dozier, and now Escobar with the tying run at third. Escobar with a single and a run scored in the 5th, a double and a run scored in the 7th. But the double was a ground ball off the bottom of Adrianza's glove when he was playing third base. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. That slider just off the plate. Rolled foul, another breaking ball. One was 89 miles per hour. That one's 79. Runner goes very high and a bluff throw to second base. Dozier takes off, gets a stolen base, and now there are 2 men in scoring position.
And Dozier with his first successful stolen base gets it to second base.
One and two. Got him with a high fastball. Big strikeout for Trevor May, and the Royals strand 2.
Take a look at the hot bats on the weekend. 20 runs so far scored for the Minnesota Twins. A big part of that today, Jake Cave, a milestone home run. We'll bring you inside the clubhouse and hear from the manager, Paul Molitor. We'll also have Twins final pitch available today. Thank you to Prism Research for that. Head to foxsportsnorth.com or our Facebook page. You'll get exclusive content wrapping up this series and previewing the big series in Cleveland, which starts tomorrow, guys.
All right, Twins in need of some insurance. Paul Molitor's team protecting a 1-run lead. Miguel Sano will lead off the bottom of the 8th against Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, McCarthy worked here on Friday night. 1 shutout inning, had a strikeout through 9 pitches, 5 over the plate.
Sano fouls it into the Kansas City dugout, 1 strike.
McCarthy in his 3rd season with the Royals. Hard fastball, mid-90s, hard slider, and a changeup. Making his 41st relief appearance.
Sano singled and scored in the 2nd. Since then, a couple of strikeouts. Inside, 1-1. Hunter Dozier stays in the game after his pop fly single. He'll take over at first base. Pitches up a little bit, and it's 2-1.
Fernando Rodney getting loose. A possible save situation. Whoa, just a bit outside.
To the backstop. And it's 3-1 with Forsythe on deck. Swing. Did he go? Yeah. Alan Porter said he did, and it's 3-2. That was how Sano struck out his first time today with a check swing on a breaking ball outside. This pitch was inside, and he couldn't check in time. (3-2) to the leadoff man here in the Twins' 8th. On the ground sharply and into center field. About a carbon copy of what Sano did in his 2nd inning at bat, grounding a sharp single up the middle for a hit.
Yeah, Perez sitting down and away, the ball a little bit over the plate, and Sano picks up his 2nd single. He hits the ball so hard, he gets through the infield so quickly. Escobar. Thought he had a good jump on it, the ball was by him.
That's the thing, we're conscious of and promote exit velocity as a means of what a hitter does at the plate. Might actually, in terms of batting average, be more important on ground balls than fly balls. And a strike to Forsythe. You hit the ball on the ground, although it's not taught that way much anymore, but you hit the ball on the ground hard, you're going to get a lot of base hits that way too. Forsythe with a single in 3 trips. He cracked a single to right field his first time up. And now outside, 1-1.
Yeah, McCarthy started the season down in the minor leagues, got called up in the middle of April.
Base hit right field. Sano to 2nd. That's far enough. Juggled in right briefly. We've seen Forsythe do a nice job of that. 3 of his hits as a Twin have been to the right side.
He's a scrappy player, I'll tell you.
Join the Twins season ticket holder family today and get the best seats at the best price and be instantly enrolled in our Sweet Spot Benefits and Rewards program. Benefits include a 10% discount on food, beverage, and merchandise, early entry on select dates to watch Twins batting practice, and much more. Visit twinsbaseball.com/season tickets to learn more. Now the designated hitter Max Kepler. To be his first at bat against a right-handed pitcher in today's game. And he's 2 for 3. Missing outside, ball 1.
Here on Friday night, Max Kepler 0 for 1, but he walked 3 times in last night's ball game. Had 3 hits, one of those a 2-run home run and a walk. And in here tonight, a couple hits and 3 at-bats. So Max put together a nice series. See if he can top it off by maybe getting an RBI, advancing the runner somehow.
Sometimes hitters will talk about that, how they know they're going to break out of a slump when they start drawing some walks. And we're not talking about walks where one pitch is a foot high and another one's a foot outside, but the ability to take those close pitches and refine your strike zone.
I think we saw Sano, doing that too.
Yeah.
Better eye at the plate, more patience. Waiting for that one hit he can drive somewhere.
2-0 to Kepler.
Good take right there.
3-0. Garver on deck. There's the outside corner, now 3-1. Royals will have the top of their order due up at the top of the ninth. Some insurance would be nice. Now the inside corner, 3-2. Runners won't be going anyplace. And again, Garver, the on deck batter. And Kepler takes a walk. They're loaded up with nobody out.
And 5th time he has walked in this series, Max Kepler.
The Twins already have 1 grand slam today. Now Garver's in position to hit another.
Is that a call?
No.
Oh.
I would like a single to right field here, though.
Pitching coach, call Eldred out there. Talk to his pitcher, make sure he doesn't give up a grand slam.
Willie Peralta getting loose.
Peralta kind of the closer right now for Ned Yost.
In the absence of anybody else, he's got 6 saves.
Right.
Kelvin Herrera traded to the Nationals. All right, a big spot here for Mitch Garver. He's cooled off considerably in the month of August.
The infield, I'm sure, will be playing in.
Can't force anywhere. Garver trying to get one out to the outfield. Now, I told you, I think Friday and Saturday, we'll say it again, the Kansas City left fielder and center fielder have outstanding arms. Bonifacio's got a good one as well. So if it's a fly ball hit by Garver, it's got to be deep enough to get Sano in from third. Right down the middle of strike.
Of course, with the infield in, that cuts down the range, especially the guys in the middle part of the diamond. Escobar and Merrifield.
Popped up, backing out of play, now 2 strikes.
McCarthy, 45 innings coming into this outing, 27 strikeouts. He's averaging about 5 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts per 9 innings.
0-2 to Mitch Garver.
That's what he's looking for here.
Just inside. Bad foul.
Just got a piece of it.
He looked like he fouled it right out of Perez's mitt.
Change up right there.
To third. Nice pickup by Escobar. Out there, and Garver is doubled up at first. Nifty backhand pickup by Alcides Escobar, 2 away.
Garver hit it sharply, but Escobar, as you mentioned, made a nice play. Ned Yost coming out. There'll be a pitching change. But Escobar, watch him, that little short hop. Nice solid throw to Perez, and then Perez throwing to Dozier over at first to complete the double play. Nice defense right there by the Royals.
McCarthy, it's 2 outs on 1 pitch. Now he'll ask Peralta to quash this threat by the Twins, with Adrianza due to hit next. We'll see whether Mauer's used off the bench. Morrison back out to the outfield, but trying to protect a 1-run lead. You want your best defense out there, and so it'll be Adrianza with a chance to send across a couple of runs against Willie Peralta.
Yeah, Peralta, a former starter when he was with the Milwaukee Brewers, now in his first season with the Royals, finds himself in that bullpen and save situations. Started the season down in the minor leagues, called up in the middle part of June. Peralta making his 16th relief appearance.
As you see, walks are high. He's got a base open. Jake Cave on deck, and Adrianza will bat. There's a bunt, and Perez throws him out. What a play by Perez.
He took the gamble right there, and the 6-time All-Star made one heck of an All-Star play.
The inning ends. The Twins filled him up with nobody out, but it'll be a 1-run lead for Fernando Rodney.
Look at him bounce behind home plate. What a play.
Finish with the Twins trying to pin down a one-run win. A couple of big strikeouts, preserving that lead in the 8th inning.
Yeah, Taylor Rogers had a couple strikeouts, and Trevor May a big strikeout right there of Escobar to end the threat for the Royals. They put a 0 on the board. Twins holding on to that one-run lead. Fernando Rodney looking for his 24th save of the year. He picked up his 23rd here on Friday night. He threw 11 pitches, 8 for strikes in a 1-2-3 inning.
It'll be Merrifield and Gordon and Perez facing Rodney. Merrifield with hits his last 3 times up, including a 2-run home run his last time up. A while since Rodney's had a nice clean inning. That's off the glove of Sano. The 9th won't get started out very clean at all. A line drive. It'll be probably a base hit for Merrifield, his 4th straight hit.
Yeah, in a 1-2-3 inning here on Friday night, Merrifield actually made the last out of that ball game, but this time he jumps on that first pitch off the glove of Sano, picks up his 4th hit of the ball game.
And the Royals have had their leadoff man on in their last 3 innings 5 times in the ball game. And now Gordon with Sano pulled about halfway between 3rd and 2nd.
And now you got the speedy Merrifield who can steal some bases at first base.
Sano creeping in on the grass on the left side.
Long hold by Rodney, and Gordon asking for time. It's one thing a lot of times with closers, you know, you can run on them. Now Rodney's going to try to speed up his delivery a little bit. Try that slide step.
Way out in front of the changeup. What we've seen from Rodney over the last couple of outings, much more reliance on the changeup. He's had spells very early in the season, and then again right out of the All-Star break where he was maybe over-reliant on the fastball.
I remember earlier this year he had a tough time with that changeup. He said it's it's such a field grip. But it all tees off the fastball. He knows that. And Gordon on that swing, he was looking dead red on that first pitch because he was way out front.
1 strike.
Oh,
there goes Merrifield. Yep. Garver's throw right on the bag, and they got him. What a throw by Mitch Garver.
Well, I thought Merrifield had a great jump, and you're right. Mitch Garver threw a rocket. And even Salvador Perez got to be happy at that. My goodness. Look at the jump he had. And the throw right on the mark. You can't throw it better than Garver did right there.
You know what's really nice about that, in addition to getting the out?
Wow. What a play.
Garver's had at the plate probably his worst day in the big leagues. 0 for 4 with double plays hit into in his last 2 at bats. But he may have just come up with the defensive play of the game by throwing out Merrifield. And now outside, 2-1.
Saw Polanco go over at the second base. That throw was right there, right where that slider slides into the bag. What a throw.
2-1 to Alex Gordon, and now 3-1. Perez is on deck. For the inside corner fastball.
Sano, who was playing third, now going out behind second base. Fastball inside at 95 for a strike.
Full count to Gordon. Got him with the fastball. 2 down.
I'm sure when you have someone that like Rodney has such a good changeup, there's a little hesitation. Is it a fastball or is it going to be a changeup? And Gordon right there, just a little tardy.
Well, kind of works in reverse. You know, you try to sit on the fastball and you look foolish on the changeup, but if you sit on the changeup, the fastball is going to beat you at 95. There's Perez. Swung on and missed, 97.
And that's what we've seen from Fernando at 41 years old. Find that little extra from time to time. He'll pull 93, 94. If struck out Gordon at 95, all of a sudden the first pitch 97 to Perez.
Fouled away, 2 strikes.
He's coming right after him. If he throws him a changeup right here, Perez
is going to throw his bat all the way down the left field line.
He may spin around 3 times.
0-2, the Royals down to their last strike. Base hit by Perez. Held hitless yesterday and threw 4 at bats today. And he, with an 0-2 count, grounds a single to center. And now Perez will leave the ball game. And Mondesi will run for him.
And Rodney stayed with that fastball. 3 fastballs at 97, and Perez got that base hit. So the speedster Mondesi at first base.
Duda will bat. A 2-run home run in the first, and then 3 straight strikeouts.
And to be honest with you, he has not looked very good on changeups throughout the series.
He might see one in this at bat.
I think so. You can see that.
Look at the shift. 4 outfielders. Well, let's just go and call 5 outfielders with Polanco in short right field. Now Duda took care of that shift in the first inning when he hit one into the bullpen. 1-0. Talked about Rodney's slide step. Let's credit him too for the throw out of Merrifield, getting the ball to Garver quickly. Now 2-0 to Duda.
Fastball away, then missed with the changeup.
Out in front of the changeup. Significantly out in front of the changeup.
Well, Hildenberger struck him out on that changeup.
There goes the runner outside, and Mondesi will swipe second base. And Sano and Garver both scamper towards third. Had Mondesi been a little more aware out there, he could have rounded second and gone to third base.
Of course, with the shift on, you see where Sano is, and Sano covering second, but I don't think Mondesi would have beaten Sano at third base. But Mondesi gets a stolen base.
3-1 to Duda with Herrera on deck. Now Sano, of course, has to be on the left side of the infield with Mondesi at second. Duda wanted to toss the bat away and walk to first, and now it's a full count, and the Royals again are down to their last strike.
Another fastball, lower part of the strike zone, strike 2. Now, does he go to that fastball again, or does he pull the string? I'm guessing pull the string.
Missed outside and not by much, and Mondesi stole third base. So Duda takes a walk, and after the second out, Perez with a single to center, a stolen base, and now ball 4 and a stolen base.
Well, he went with a fastball, missed down and away.
And now Herrera will bat. 1 for 4 on the day. Reached on a Sano throwing error his last time up. Strike 1. A changeup floats over the outside corner. Out in front of the changeup, 0-2. And for the 3rd time in the last 3 at-bats, the Royals are down to their last strike.
25,000. 390, most of them on their feet.
Duda goes, and the ball smothered by Garver. And the Royals keep taking extra bases. A stolen base for Duda, and there are 2 men in scoring position. And the count 1-2 now to Herrera. Now Morrison playing back on the edge of the outfield grass, not holding the runner anymore. Squirted to the left side, picked off by Sano and got him. Good play by Miguel Sano to end the ball game.
Hey, broke his bat, Sano going to his left. And yeah, it was an adventure, Fernando Rodney, but he picks up his 24th save. Going inside, shattering his bat. Sano, a lot of spin on that ball. Gets the out at first. The final out.
Royals in the 9th with 2 hits, a walk, 3 stolen bases, 1 caught stealing, and they can't, out of all that, get the game tied thanks to a good play by Sano and a good throw by Mitch Garver. Tom Hanneman.
Yep, nice win for the Twins.
Homestand ends up with a 4-2 mark.
Dick, another encouraging weekend at home where the Twins gain a measure of revenge against Kansas City before hitting the road for an important series in Cleveland. Up next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, we'll break it all down.